everyone, welcome back. Today we are back in the garden. I've been working diligently in this space because I really want to get it perfect for the summer, or as close to perfect as I can. I've been making over a ton of different sections in my garden, so stay tuned and make sure you subscribe if you want to see all of these videos coming up, because there's going to be a lot of them. Today we're focusing on a very neglected area at the back of the garden that needs a lot of work. As a reminder, this is what it looked like to begin with. I don't have many clips of this because it was just so uninspiring. I kind of skipped over it when I was doing the garden tour, but it's just this little section at the back of the garden that has a very empty flower bed, a brick wall, and a lot of dirt. So today we're going to make it over, add a seating area, and I'm going to be doing a lot of DIYs, which I haven't done for such a long time. I dusted off my DIY supplies. We are back in business. The DIYs are back, and I'm so excited to show you how this turns out because the after shots, it's like night and day. So without further ado, let's jump in and start on the flower bed. This section is going to be our designated daybed section. So I have a lot of tidying up to do. Hayley's going to start by vacuuming up all of these leaves, and I'm going to work on tidying up this area. I'm going to put as many big, tall plants as I can here so that the bench can go in front and we'll still see them from the back. Maybe we could even put some lights up. I don't know, but let's get started. This area was so neglected. It was full of bricks and weeds and leaves, so we had a lot of tidying up to do to get it nice and clean for a fresh start. My plan was to plant a few things behind here, including this laurel that my nan gave me that wasn't doing too well at first, and then we ended up putting this big pot with this fatsia that's looking a little leggy at the back because we'll be putting something in front of here. So I wanted some tall plants. I'm hoping they do grow in a little bit. I'm finishing this area off with some bark chippings just to tidy it up, and now we can move on to the next section. Okay, so that's all done. It's looking a lot better.
That's all done. That's okay. Remind me of the garden 2 days.
Get out of here. I'm hoping that this laurel will grow really big, and then I've got a space here for something else, but I'll fill that at a later date. Looking good. Now we can open the daybed. So about the daybed, we're off to get more Cotswold chippings. Will it ever end? Who knows? How many bags of Cotswold chippings do you need? How long is a piece of string? Let's go. Yeah, that's a funny looking bag of Cotswold chippings I got there. Look at that, the last one in the store. 11 AM, all 6 of them have gone. Okay, so the long story short is that I went out for these Cotswold chippings so that we could put some gravel down, but they'd run out. I think it had been a bank holiday weekend and everyone wanted to work on their garden. Anyway, I saw that Aldi were releasing these amazing multifunctional benches on like a Thursday or something, you know, when they release their special buys. And I ended up getting one of those instead of the gravel. But I'm not sad about it. Look at this. Now that we're finished with the space, it's looking good, but it's a bit plain, so let's spice it up with a few DIYs. For the first DIY project on today's list, I'm going to make these outdoor cushions for the new bench seating. We've gone for yellow because I want to add a pop of colour to this area, and I'm going to include a zipper on this one to make them a little bit more durable for the outside. If you want to make these for yourself, you will need the items that I'm showing on screen now. I got this gorgeous thick fabric on sale at the local haberdashery, and I'm going to use 2 cushion inserts. Top tip, if you want to make your cuts easier, check for the sizes on the cushion label. It's been a while since I've used my sewing machine since being away, and I'm actually not even using my main machine, which I will get to later in the video. So I'm feeling a little bit out of balance and like I'm not sure what I'm doing. So to help me with getting back on track with sewing, I am using Craftsy. Craftsy are very kindly sponsoring today's video, so let me tell you a little bit more. If you love crafting, whether you're a beginner or you know your way around, Craftsy is for everyone. Their platform has over 2,000 tutorials across more than 20 different topics. There's something there for everyone. The classes go really in depth so that you can get a really good feel for what you're trying to learn. Now usually I wait till the end of the video to tell you about the discount, but you're going to want to hear this, so let me put it in right now. If you're one of the first 1,000 people to join using my link in the description or the QR code on screen, you can get Craftsy Premium for a year for $1.49. And Craftsy have more than just tutorials. They have a ton of different downloads, sewing patterns, and other videos that will help you on your crafting journey. In today's video, I'm using a couple of different tutorials to help me get on track with sewing because I decided to add a zipper to these pillows, and that is something that I don't really enjoy doing, so I always need a refresh of how to do it. I used a zipper tutorial, and I also thought that this tutorial on outdoor cushions was really helpful, so if you sign up, I definitely recommend looking at these two classes. And I'm guessing that some of you like gardening. If you're watching this, they also have a gardening section on their website. As a reminder, if you'd like to join Craftsy and get one full year of premium for $1.49, check out the link below or the QR code on screen, and I hope you guys enjoy it. As always, thank you so much to Craftsy for sponsoring today's video. Thank you to you guys for watching it. Now let's get into the DIYs. I cut 4 pieces of fabric for each side of my cushion, and I gave myself 2 centimeters of seam allowance for each side, so an extra 4 per length and width. I'm using these zips that I picked up from the charity shop, and I'm relearning how to add the zips because it's never been my forte, so the classes really did help me here. Unfortunately, I was missing a zipper foot because it was a long weekend and the only sewing machine shop that we had on the island has since closed down. So I just made do, and that's the thing. Sewing should be accessible whether you're using one of these tiny sewing machines or not. Don't be scared if you're a beginner and you don't quite have the right equipment. There's always a way around it. I just had to be a little bit more careful with the lines I was sewing. Once I had the zipper attached to both sides of my fabric, I was able to sew the cushion together. So I just did this simply by going along the other 3 edges. And at this point, this is what the cushion's looking like. A little bit too baggy, too much seam allowance here, so I did go in and make a few tweaks, but I'm very pleased with my zipper placement so far. I took a few extra inches off of the cushion, and I also top stitched on top of the zip to make it much more secure and give it a really nice finish. As you can see in these clips here, it looks so much tidier with the top stitch. I'm really pleased I added this, and I can't believe it looks like a very fancy cushion considering I used a very cheap sewing machine that I brought back from Korea. I think it cost me £12. I bought it when I was living there. I brought it back because my nan wants to use it, but lo and behold, here I am borrowing it back from her. But anyway, that's the cushions. Let's move on to the next project, which is this little water feature. Here are the items you'll need if you want to make this for yourself. This project is so easy, I don't even want to call it a DIY. It feels like a crime to say that, so we're just going to call it a hack. Basically, what you're going to want to do is take a large planter. I like an old planter like this because it's got a bit more character. And you're going to want to plug up any drainage holes that you've got in your pot. I'm using this fix and grout, so you could also use some kind of filler or anything that's going to stop this from leaking. I added a tiny bit to the hole and let it dry for a good few hours before starting on the rest of the project. The main event is going to be this little solar powered water pump. I picked this up online. They're about £10 or less. I kind of wish that I'd actually just picked up one of the ones that you can hide under the rocks. I would recommend getting one of those in hindsight. You'll see why in a minute. but we're going to make do with this. Basically, all you want to do is fill up your pot. I'm using a couple of big bricks to take up space, and then lots of the gravel that I had left over at the back of the garden. We needed about 4 pots to fill this about halfway up. And then once you're done with that, it's time to fill it with water. I'm using the hose to do this. This took a lot longer than I expected actually, but we got there in the end. And once you're done, all you have to do is pop in your solar powered pump and make sure your pot is in a very sunny area, and it should create a little water feature. I am obsessed with this. It's so relaxing to listen to the water, and it's just a cute little fun and cheap hack for your garden. I will say, if you can get the pump that you can submerge underneath the rocks with the separate solar panel, it's probably better because this one moves around a lot and then the water ends up going outside of the pot, so I had to refill it a couple of times. So that's my one recommendation and what I've learned from this project. Anyway, on to the next one, this outdoor lamp. For this you're going to need a few items which I will put on screen, and let's jump into it. I'm using a ceramic vase that is suitable for being in the garden, although I will say that this project is not meant to be left outside long term. This is just something to use when you have friends over in the evening. Please bring it in at night. We're also going to use some of these solar powered stakes. You're going to want to check that this is going to fit in your vase. Mine was a little bit small, but don't worry because we're going to use a lampshade in a minute. But first of all, I want to remind you, you've got to charge up these lamps in the sunshine before we use them. And then all you're going to do is you're going to place this through the lampshade like so, and place it into the vase, and this should keep it pretty steady. It makes for a nice decoration if you've got a garden party, or if you just want to spend an evening in the garden. The little light that comes from it just gives a bit of ambiance, and I just think it's a cute vibe. I'm a big fan of having fake lamps in the garden. Anyway, let's move on to the last project, which is this little side table. For this you're going to need all of the items I put on screen. Let's jump into it. For this one, you'll want to find a serving tray that has the same diameter as the opening of a pot that you've found as well. Now, this might be a little tricky. If you're in the UK, my serving tray was from Home Bargains and my pot was from Poundland. The serving tray was £6 and the pot was £4. So this is a nice little budget-friendly option for a project, and it fits so perfectly well together. I'm using a little bit of outdoor paint, and to add to this, to give it a texture, I'm using building sand. Now, you've probably seen that hack with the bicarbonate of soda. That works really well. I thought I'd go with building sand because it's a lot grittier and it's got a bit more texture to it, and it'd be perfect for using outside. Fun fact, if you're going to paint brick and you add a bit of building sand to it, it gives it more of a bricky texture and it gives a little bit more longevity to the paint. Anyway, I'm just smearing this all over the pot because I didn't like the grey colour. As you know, it's my least favourite colour, and I wanted to spice it up a little bit by making it beige. Super spicy. The thing about this pot is that yes, it's going to make a nice little table, but it also acts as storage. So if you have dog toys or children's toys or any extra bits that you don't want to bring in from the garden all the time, this is the perfect way to keep them safe outside and away from the elements. Although if you decide not to use this as storage and you're worried that it might be a little light and it might blow over in the wind, I would add a couple of rocks or bricks in the bottom of it before putting your tray on top to make sure that it's going to stay in place. Oh, there's my camera woman getting all of the important shots for us. Thanks, Hayley. Anyway, one quick tip for finishing up this project is that you're going to want to paint the top lip of the pot and also take this down a few centimeters inside the pot as well to make sure it completely covers any areas that you can see when the tray is placed inside. And then there you have it, a little serving tray / table, which is perfect for a couple of drinks or an extra little bit of storage in the garden. Okay, we have come to the end. We've put all of the DIYs in place. I just want to show you a quick before and after so we can compare and contrast what it used to look like, which was very boring, dusty and dirty, to what the space looks like now. I am so pleased with how this turned out. I think the DIYs and the styling really made this space what it is. It feels really good to have dusted off my craft supplies and start doing some more DIYs. So if you'd like to see some in the home and the garden, do make sure to subscribe because I am back in business. I feel like it's finally time. The house is coming together. It's time to put some finishing touches in some of these rooms. As for the garden, I have another video coming out this week, and I think next week too. The one coming up is about the hot tub, and then I have to fix the back area where I've taken down a load of the bricks. It's been a mess, but it's been exciting. So don't forget to subscribe, like this video if you like it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Happy gardening! Bye!